We hope you enjoy this audio-only podcast. You can watch the full video versions on our YouTube channel at All Things Unexplained. There we share visuals, documents, and extended discussions you won't hear anywhere else. While you're there, be sure to subscribe so you never miss a new video. But for now, enjoy this audio version of All Things Unexplained.
All Things Unexplained.
So some of that, I think, sir, we'll save for closed session.
All right, Unexplained Ones, this is Dr. Mounts, and welcome back to All Things Unexplained. I'm going to get right into this because I believe this is a very important update that All Things Unexplained has discovered in the Monica Reza case. Monica Reza, of course, scientist who worked for NASA JPL. She invented the super alloy Mondelloy along with Dallas Ann Hardwick. Hardwick sadly passed away in 2014 from stage 4 breast cancer. Monica Reza, on June 22nd, 2025, last summer, went missing hiking in the Angeles National Forest in California. Reza was there hiking with at least 2 others. At some point, one of them went back to base camp. Reza and the third hiker continued on. The third hiker went up ahead of Reza, and essentially at some point, they were separated by distance. On their way back down, that third hiker did not see Reza, and when they arrived back at base camp, they asked the other one, "Have you seen Monica?" When they both realized that neither one of them had seen Monica, that's when they contacted authorities and realized that this was a serious situation. Monica was missing. There is speculation that Monica Reza's disappearance could be connected to the disappearance of General Neil McCasland, who went missing from Albuquerque, New Mexico in February. Some speculate she could be connected to other missing and deceased scientists and officials. And I want to reiterate something here. This is not a phenomenon that is only affecting United States scientists and officials. This, as we have uncovered on All Things Unexplained, is a global phenomenon. For more information on all that, be sure to check out our playlist and our other videos on these disappearances, on these cases. But for now, let's get into this update. In April, I submitted a FOIA request to the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department for information on the Monica Reza disappearance. They sent me a request on Monday, June 8th, 2026, from the Office of the Sheriff, County of Los Angeles, Hall of Justice, Robert G. Luna, Sheriff. Dear Mr. Mounts, in response to Public Records Act request number 26-031-82615, dated and received by the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, Public Records Act Unit on April 23rd, 2025, in your request, you are seeking the following for the period June 22nd, 2025 to July 31st, 2025. Incident and case records, search and rescue documentation, incident command system records, communications, such as emails, text messages, memos, internal communications referencing Monica Reza and other terms, air and specialized operations, evidence and field findings, command and investigative transition. And here's the response from the LASD, and I think it is quite significant. The requested records are part of an ongoing and active criminal investigation and are therefore exempt from disclosure. It is evidence gathered by police as part of an ongoing criminal investigation and is by its nature confidential. The disclosure of such information would jeopardize the completion of an ongoing and active criminal investigation, as well as the potential safety of witnesses, which clearly outweighs the public interest in disclosure at this time and is therefore exempt under Government Code Section 7922.000. These records are further exempt because they are protected from disclosure by federal, state, and common law privileges, including but not limited to the privilege for official information. They do tell me, however, that assuming there is no legal prohibition preventing its release, I may wish to obtain this record by submitting a valid subpoena in conjunction with a court case. So, All Things Unexplained has received notification from the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department that the Monica Reza case is an active and ongoing criminal investigation. So given what we know now, let's take a look back at some things. So first of all, I'll remind you that I had reached out to YouTuber Pharaoh. Please be sure to subscribe to their YouTube channel. And Pharaoh actually went out to the location where Monica Reza was hiking at and filmed this incredible YouTube footage. One thing Pharaoh pointed out is that, as you can see, this is a treacherous and dangerous environment. Huge boulders, incredibly steep cliffs and ravines. And once I saw this video and talked to Pharaoh, at that time, I ascribed the highest probability of what happened to Monica as the possibility that she had wandered off trail, perhaps to go to the bathroom. Something happened. Maybe she sprained her ankle, broke her leg, had a terrible accident of some sort. Pharaoh pointed out to me that there are many caves, caverns, other such areas that a person could crawl into if they were injured or end up in which it would be tremendously difficult to find them. And as you can see in the video, this is not a place that is easily searched. Now, unfortunately, we know that another person potentially linked to these cases. There was a very sad update, which we talked about, and that's the case of Melissa Casias. She also went missing last summer from New Mexico. She was a Los Alamos employee. She ended up in the national forest there, and now over a year later, her body has been found 8,000 feet in elevation in an area that had previously been searched and also was filled with workers doing various projects in the area. But her body was only just discovered by a hiker in that area. Unfortunately, she was sitting up against a tree, handgun beside the body, and we have found out that she did have a bullet wound to the head. So a very tragic update in the Casias story. And it perhaps applies here to this situation because these areas, even with massive searches, with dogs, with helicopters, with volunteers, it can be still incredibly difficult to find a body. Unexplained CJ, she has family in California, not that far from the Angeles National Forest. They have an alpaca farm. They have to deal with mountain lions. And in California, it's illegal to do anything with the mountain lions. They have dogs to help try to scare away the mountain lions with the dogs. But there are also mountain lions in the Angeles National Forest. And so I was worried that something terrible could have happened to Monica, in which case she could have become susceptible to attack by a mountain lion. Or even wandering off trail to go to the bathroom. She could have still been in a vulnerable position for a mountain lion attack. I also found this footage online. This is a mountain lion in the Angeles National Forest in January of 2025. This was posted by user Robert Martinez in a Facebook group. And you can see this animal is huge. Huge, strong, powerful. It's tough to think about, but it definitely was a possibility here in this case. Robert Martinez said in the post, "Good morning. On January 16th, 2025, this ruggedly handsome male mountain lion stopped by my camera to make a scrape, and then he sits down to take in his surroundings. Just so you know, this area of the Angeles National Forest is not near the current fires. That was in January of last year, 2025. And there we see a close-up of the mountain lion, eyes glowing in the dark. Monica Reza was a very small woman. If a person were to be attacked by themselves in a vulnerable position by a creature like this, off trail, that could be a very tragic situation. But now that we know the Monica Reza case is a criminal investigation, I think we have to reevaluate how we're looking at the probabilities of what could have happened to Monica. And so now I think tragic accident in the forest, attack by a wild animal, injury, that sort of thing, those probabilities have went way down. And so now we have to ask ourselves this question: do adult missing persons cases in California automatically get classified as a criminal investigation? According to source one that I am referencing, the answer is no. The Los Angeles Sheriff's Department does not classify every adult missing person as a criminal investigation. In California, adults have the right to voluntarily disappear. A missing person report is treated as a potential criminal act only if specific evidence or circumstances indicate foul play, danger, or suspicious circumstances. These are the classifications used by LASD. A missing adult can be voluntarily missing. This could happen more often than you realize. I know that here recently, an exact case like that happened in North Carolina, where a woman went missing from her family, left behind a husband, children, and I believe that was about 20 to 30 years ago. And here this year, 2026, the police found her. They found her alive and well, but she did not want to return to her family. And all the police could do was notify the family that, yes, we have found her, but we cannot share where she's at. And that is exactly the case in California as well. If an adult voluntarily goes missing and the police do locate them, they can share with the family that, hey, we found them, they're okay, but they are not allowed to share with the family where they're at or any other information. Now, otherwise, adult classifications can get labeled as at risk. This happens when we have a victim of a crime or foul play, elderly or suffering from dementia or Alzheimer's. By the way, there are no reports whatsoever that that is the case for Reza. Medical conditions, mentally, physically, or emotionally impaired, especially to the degree where they cannot take care of themselves, or someone having suicidal ideations. Again, there are no reports that I'm aware of that this is the case for Reza. If Reza did have some medical conditions to where she would be in danger if she did not get her medication, I understand we have HIPAA laws that might be violated if it were to be revealed what sort of illnesses or medication someone is on. But to me, that does not explain why this would be classified as a criminal investigation, and especially to the point where no information could be shared. If this was truly the case of someone missing and they need their medication and time was of the essence that they be found, you would think it would be all hands on deck in terms of getting information out there, information that might help this person be located. But to me, my FOIA request response seems to indicate that there are other things at play here, and that those reasons, which we don't know, is why Monica Reza has been classified as a criminal investigation. I understand Monica went missing hiking in a treacherous landscape, and of course that by its nature puts Monica in danger. But again, I don't think that explains why this would be labeled a criminal investigation and prevent the release of any information on the case. Because again, if that was the case, if Monica was missing here as a hiker in a treacherous environment, missing from natural causes of some sort, an accident, an animal attack, why squash all available information on the case? Why stymie potential efforts that could help locate her with additional information? In terms of this question, do adult missing persons automatically get classified as a criminal investigation in California? I also have a second source for that question, and that source is the LASD themselves. So I did communicate with them this past week, and they sent me a response to that question. And their response was basically to direct me to certain pages of the LASD Policy and Procedures Manual. A missing person report shall be taken immediately when requested, without delay and regardless of jurisdiction. All new missing person reports shall be entered into the NCIC system by station unit personnel within 1 hour of taking the report, including courtesy reports. A missing person is defined as a person who is reported missing to law enforcement until the person is located or determined to be a voluntarily missing adult. Missing persons include at risk, which is when the person includes but is not limited to evidence or indications of any of the following. They are a victim of a crime or foul play. They are in need of medical attention. They have no pattern of running away or disappearing. They may be the victim of parental abduction or mentally or physically impaired. One thing that is highlighted here is suspicious circumstances. Circumstances which give rise to the belief that a crime may have been involved. The disappearance is out of character for the person and no known reason can be determined. To me, this seems to be the case for the LASD's FOIA response to me. Now, given that the LASD tells me that the Monica Reza case is a criminal investigation, I think it's important we revisit some previous updates on the Monica Reza case that were in the media. The first very important thing here to revisit comes from the Crescenta Valley Weekly. This was on July 3rd, 2025, so less than a month after Monica went missing. It says an extraordinary search was initiated that involved not only our Los Angeles County search and rescue teams, but numerous resources from throughout the state, leveraging local, state, and federal assets. The use of forensic technology, photography, airships, canines, and other specialized tools were utilized in this effort, leaving no available resource untapped. So as I reread the sheer scope of the search for Monica Reza, knowing what I know now, and here we are nearly a year later, it does seem flabbergasting that Monica is still missing. I understand, sadly, that Melissa Casias was missing for about a year and then she was found, but this just seems off for some reason. Something seems off with this. Next, we need to go back to solvethecase.org. An extensive week-long search found only a beanie 600 feet below the trail that Monica was hiking on. It says on June 23rd, that's the day after Monica went missing, a beanie believed to belong to Monica was discovered approximately 600 feet below the trail in Devil's Canyon Ravine. A scent dog was deployed to the ravine but lost the trail. Now, if Monica had a terrible accident and fell 600 feet below the hiking trail, I question as to her physical ability from that point on to get much further away from that scene. But this brings up another very critical piece of information from the past that we need to revisit. And for that, we head over to Reddit to thesentinel.net. They made a post that said, update, Monica Jacinto Reza disappearance. LASD confirmed they ran cell phone forensics. The post was removed. The data was never released. This was posted 3 months ago. It says, update to our coverage on the disappearance of Monica Reza from the Mount Waterman Ridgeline in June 2025. Since our last post, we've identified what we believe is the most significant unanswered question in this case. What happened to Monica's cell phone? Montrose Search and Rescue confirmed in a Facebook post that they worked closely with technical experts to explore cell phone forensic data to assist in identifying Monica's last known movements. That post has since been removed, and the data was never disclosed. When a civilian on this Facebook search group theorized that Subject A may have disabled the phone, the entire group was deleted overnight. They say something there interesting. Montrose Search and Rescue confirmed they worked closely with technical experts to explore cell phone forensic data. As we just said, the Crescenta Valley Weekly reported, and I quote, the use of forensic technology, photography, airships, canines, and other specialized tools were utilized in this effort, leaving nearly no available resource untapped. So prior to the LASD response to me about this being a criminal investigation, these updates could easily fall under the tragic accident theory. The beanie, for example, aligns with a terrible accident Monica could have had, and the possibility that she could have fallen victim before death or after death to a mountain lion. That could also explain why the scent dogs potentially lost track. Apparently, as we would expect, Monica had her cell phone with her. If she did have a terrible accident and she was alive, you would have thought that she would have attempted to use her phone. A lot of those remote national forest, national park type areas, there can be literally no cell phone service whatsoever. Although I have been led to believe that you're able to connect via satellite now for emergency services. So was that available at the time? Could she have wandered off with her cell phone and just the battery died and the phone is wherever Monica is? If she suffered some terrible fate in the bottom of that ravine, then it of course makes sense that her cell phone would have stayed potentially on her person. But now knowing that this is a criminal investigation, we need to reevaluate how we look at the discovery of the beanie and the cell phone records. Could there have been some forensic evidence on the beanie to suggest foul play? It would not be surprising if something terrible happened to Monica in that ravine, somewhere on the hike, if at some point after that her cell phone died and stopped pinging or stopped sending out any data at all. That would not be surprising. But if that's the case, why would you not release the data? Maybe that metadata could be helpful for a citizen expert who could use it to help find Monica. Apparently cell phone data was acquired, and we can't help but wonder now, was there something in that data that caused the LASD to move this to a criminal investigation? It could have been text, emails, or the cell phone could have been pinging somewhere outside the Angeles National Forest after Monica went missing. This is just speculation, of course, but the fact is we now know the Monica Reza case is more than just a missing person case. It's more than just a missing hiker. It is officially a criminal investigation for which LASD is not sharing any information whatsoever. Not without a subpoena. All right, Unexplained ones. I am Dr. Mounts. All Things Unexplained has discovered from the LASD that the Monica Reza case is a criminal investigation. I could really use your help in getting these videos out to the public. Some of the best ways you can do that is to hit the like button, to share the video, comment on the video, and subscribe to the channel. All of that feeds into the algorithm for these videos and helps more people see them. As we continue to share updates on these missing scientists and other officials, we also continue to send our thoughts and prayers out to the family, the loved ones, the friends of those involved. These are tragic cases involving real people. Let's keep them in our thoughts and our prayers. And until next time, I'm Dr. Mounts. Thanks.
All Things Unexplained.
So some of that I think, sir, will save for close session.